What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Jump Rope to Freedom. Today's video is going to be different. It's touching on a subject that has been bothering me for some time in the jump rope community and the larger fitness community. That subject is, and it's more of a question, is why people in the jump rope community, influencer or not, have such a problem with running, whether that's running on the treadmill, running outside, whatever. Why is there such a problem? Why do you have people who are filming videos inside of a gym in front of a treadmill, jumping rope, and then denigrating people who are running on the treadmill, bad-mouthing people who are choosing to run as their form of physical fitness, their form of exercise? Why is this happening? What can we do about it? And how can we address it? Why is this behavior so harmful, even though a lot of people may think that they're just joking or they're just kidding? I'll share a couple of my theories. I'm going to share an old fable with you to explain this kind of phenomenon, this kind of mentality, because there are certain psychological conditions that have been documented in the past a long time ago that can explain this type of behavior where you are bad-mouthing or denigrating something that you either can't do or have no ability to do. I think a lot of people who watch this channel have probably heard about Aesop's fables. Aesop's fables were written thousands of years ago. It contains a lot of stories that have a deeper meaning, that have a moral, and it's used in sort of a playful way, but the lessons that you can derive from Aesop's fables are not child's play at all. They're real life lessons that you can apply to improve your life, or you can learn from those lessons to avoid mistakes. The story that I'm going to tell today, a lot of you may have heard it, is the story about the fox and the grapes. There was a fox walking through the woods one day, and the fox noticed that there were some grapes that were hanging from a tree a little bit higher than he could reach. So what the fox did, the fox was hungry, he wanted a snack. What he did was he started trying to jump for the grapes, and the grapes were just out of his reach. He could not get the grapes. They were just within a few inches, and he tried for a few hours to get the grapes, but the fox could not get the grapes. What the fox did after hours of trying, of getting the grapes, is the fox said to himself, well, those grapes were sour anyway. They were probably sour anyway. I don't need them. I'm just gonna forget about it. They were sour. They probably didn't taste good anyway. And the fox walked away. There was no way that the fox could actually know if the grapes were sour or not. But what the fox did in the fox's mind was the fox said to itself, the grapes are sour, I wouldn't have liked them anyway. And that's what gave the fox comfort in being able to walk away, because he could not reach the grapes. He had to convince himself that the grapes were no good. The moral of the story is that when there's something that you can't reach and there's something that you can't obtain, whether that be because there's a physical limitation or because you are unwilling to put in the work to achieve what you want to achieve, then what a lot of people do in this situation is they badmouth the thing that they were going for. They badmouth the thing that they can't understand, because it makes them feel more secure in not either having the ability or the willingness to do what it takes to achieve whatever it is they couldn't achieve. I look at this issue in the fitness community and the jump rope community in the same way. You have a small fraction of people. There are some influencers in the community. There are some people who follow these influencers in the community. It's easy to belittle what you can't obtain. And I point to the folks in the jump rope community who are filming the videos in front of the treadmills and denigrating treadmills and people who run on the treadmills, saying that running isn't as good as jump rope. There's no way for you to know that. There's no way for you to know that. Have you conducted scientific experiments to see that running is better or worse than jump rope? I don't think you have. What we have in this situation with people who are bad mouthing and putting down running is that is the attitude, that is the act that makes them feel comfortable for either being unwilling to become a decent runner or to be able to last 1 or 2 minutes on the treadmill or running outside, or because they are unable to do it. They are physically unable to do it, whether that be because they had an injury in the past and the doctor told them they could never run again. That's how they rationalize not being able or being unwilling to do something by saying, that's no good anyway. It's stupid. Running is dumb. Nobody should do it. Everyone should be jumping rope, rather than looking at the situation and saying, well, running isn't for me, but it could be for other people who are either willing to put in the time to become a decent runner or willing to run at all, or someone who hasn't sustained the injuries that I've sustained in the past. Maybe running would be good for them. Maybe they are not coordinated enough to jump rope, who knows? But what it is it's projecting your ideas and your insecurities onto an entire population of people. There are people in the jump rope community like myself. I run 2 to 3 days a week. I've been running 2 to 3 days a week since I joined the military back in 2008. And I can tell you, my knees are fine, everything. I'm completely healthy, and running has done a lot for me. But I wouldn't project running on somebody else who doesn't like running. So I don't swim. I do know how to swim, but I don't swim for my exercise. I don't normally ride a bike for my exercise. I don't play hockey, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to badmouth and denigrate people who do play those sports and do those activities, because I know that that's good for them. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you actually get in some exercise. Another reason that we're seeing people in the jump rope community make fun of people who run on the treadmill or run outside is because there's this need, I believe, to belong. And a lot of times people go about the need to belong in the wrong way. If you read the book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, it's a great book. It's laws that, while may seem Machiavellian, they explain a lot about human nature. And that's what Robert Greene is known for, is explaining the good, the bad, the ugly about human nature and how you can use your understanding of human nature to get ahead in life. Law 27 talks about how people create a cult-like following, and you should truly read this book to get an understanding of how this happens. But the way that influencers and some influencers create a cult-like following, and you can see this throughout history if you study cults and Jim Jones and all the other cult leaders from the past, is that they create this us against them mentality however they possibly can. All the leaders who have created cults, Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, Jim Jones, all these people, they create this us against them mentality. And the us against them mentality in this situation is not as grave as the people that I mentioned in the past, but it still exists. You're creating this, we're so great in the jump rope community, and people who run are down here at the bottom. The whole they run, we fly mentality. And creating that us against them mentality is a strong, strong way to get people to follow a cause because they feel united against something else. And that's happened all across human nature. It's happened for thousands of years. You have revolutions that occur because the leadership creates an us against them mentality. And sometimes it's necessary when you're dealing with someone who is evil and you're trying to fight for what's right, then yes, it is good to create an us against them mentality. But in this situation with jump rope versus running, there should be no division whatsoever. We have such an issue in first world countries, particularly the United States, United Kingdom, in actually getting people to exercise, in getting people to get up off the couch and live an active lifestyle, that there should be no reason why anybody, whether they're joking or not, should be bad mouthing or putting down any form of exercise. It absolutely boggles my mind. It's creating this us against them mentality that doesn't need to exist in the first place. In America, 1/3 of people are obese. 1/3 of people are obese and are at risk for all sorts of problems: heart disease, diabetes, stroke. And exercise helps in counteracting those problems. So to put on a YouTube channel or an Instagram channel and to have a ton of other people following you saying that treadmills are terrible, that you shouldn't be running, that cardio machines are no good, does the exact opposite in promoting a healthy lifestyle. What the message should be is that jump rope is great, jump rope is awesome, but whatever exercise is best for you, that's the exercise you should do. Whatever exercise you're most likely to do, and the exercise that makes you feel the best, the exercise that you're gonna do on a consistent basis, that's the best exercise for you personally. There shouldn't be any of this projection that just because jump rope is the best thing for you, that you should badmouth and marginalize other forms of exercise, particularly running. It makes absolutely no sense. It's completely irrational, it's completely illogical, and it's unreasonable. The goal of anybody in the fitness community should be to get people exercising. However that is, if that's walking for an hour a day, if it's jumping rope for 15 minutes a day, if it's swimming a few miles worth of laps in the pool every day, if it's working out on an exercise bike for 30, 45 minutes to an hour a day, whatever. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that people are exercising. What I get concerned about is people who are just starting to get into shape or have made a decision to begin living a more active lifestyle. And then they run into influencers on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform, who are saying that running is bad, who are saying to skip the treadmill, or saying that cardio machines are no good and that jump rope is superior to everything. I'm not worried about people like me. I have the confidence and I have the critical thinking ability to look at that kind of material and say that is completely false. It's laden with fallacy and it is absolutely garbage material, and I know I'm not going to listen to it. But I've been active and concerned about my health for at least the past 13 years, and I've educated myself on those types of things. Think about people who don't have those critical thinking skills. Think about people who are easily influenced. That's most people. Most people don't have the critical thinking skills to look at an influencer and say, I'm not listening to him, I'm not listening to her. Oh, he says that running on a treadmill is bad, so it must be bad because he has X amount of followers, or she has X amount of followers on Instagram or whatever platform. Those are the people that I'm concerned about, and that's why I'm putting out this video. There's no reason in the fitness community, and jump rope is just a microcosm of the fitness community, whether we like it or not. Fitness community, jump rope community. But there's no reason to create this division between different forms of exercise just because you want to create this us against them mentality to get more people in your camp. First world countries in particular have a problem with diabetes, a problem with heart disease, a problem with obesity. It's endemic. It's endemic to these societies now because people are eating poorly and they are not exercising enough. If they change those two things, it would flip this problem on its head and it would no longer be a problem. But when you have people creating content and putting out messaging saying that one form of exercise is superior to another, that completely counteracts the message of getting people off the couch and getting people exercising. I love jump rope. I think it's awesome. I've been jumping rope for nearly 4 years now. But I would never be so blind to say that jump rope is better than running, or jump rope is better than swimming. It might be better for me, but it's not better for everybody. And I would not be so foolish as to project my beliefs onto other people who might get more value out of running, who might get more value out of swimming, who might get more value from playing pickup basketball as their form of cardio. If you see these types of videos, this type of content, this type of writing on the internet, do me a favor and ignore it. And then even take it a step further and address it. Make a comment on a video that you see like that and say, this is not right. You should not be bad-mouthing treadmills. You should not be bad-mouthing running. You should not be marginalizing any form of exercise that has been proven over time to get people more healthy. And running has been one of those exercises, just like swimming, biking, the myriad of exercises out there that have been proven to help people get in better shape and live a better lifestyle. Comment on that kind of behavior. Call it out. I can only do so much. I'm only one person, and I've come under fire before from a couple of these influencers for saying and expressing my discontent at that kind of messaging. I also encourage you to think critically. Be a critical thinker. Ask yourself, why is this person marginalizing running? Why is this person marginalizing running on the treadmill or running outside and then putting jump rope on a pedestal? Ask yourself that question, why this person is doing that, and then think critically through that process, and don't just take someone's word as gospel just because they have a couple 100,000 followers on various platforms. That doesn't mean that they've done any research. That doesn't mean that their motives are good. That doesn't mean that they even know what in the world they're talking about. It just means that enough people thought they were cool and clicked follow or subscribe or whatever. It doesn't mean anything. Critically think through the messages that these people are putting out. Critically think through the fact that people have been running for thousands of years, or however long people have been alive, people have been running. Look at a toddler. When a toddler learns how to walk, one of the first things a toddler wants to do is run. So think about how humans have evolved, and then think about the messaging that's being put out there as far as this us against them, jump rope versus running, or treadmills are no good, and all that other garbage. And critically think through that and try to understand why that person is saying what they're saying, and then make your decision on why or how you should listen to them based on some critical thought, rather than the fact that they have thousands of followers who think that they're awesome. I think one of the funniest things about marginalizing running in any form when it comes from influencers in the jump rope community is that a lot of jump rope influencers either have a boxing background or they like boxing, they like the history of boxing. I don't have a boxing background, but because boxing and jump rope are essentially synonymous, because any boxer you know out there jumps rope regularly, they belong in the same sentence. Boxing and jump rope belong in the same sentence. So it's inevitable that if you're a jump rope influencer, you've either done some boxing before or you've watched some boxing before, whether you've watched Floyd Mayweather box, you've watched him train. It's inevitable that you would have at least had some exposure to boxing if you're in the jump rope space. What I find so funny is that all you need to do is look at some videos on YouTube of boxers training, and you will always see them running in some way, shape, or form. You can search on YouTube. You can find Floyd Mayweather running outside. You can find him running on the treadmill. Even older videos of Joe Louis, George Foreman, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. Boxers run. That's part of their training regimen. Manny Pacquiao, he would run upwards of 10 miles per day as part of his training regimen. Floyd Mayweather, in his heyday, when he was in his prime, was running 5 to 8 miles a day, a training day. Running is part of what boxers do so that they can sustain their cardio to go 12 rounds in the ring without getting tired. And that's a long time. 12 3-minute rounds of getting punched. You're gonna have a high level of cardiovascular strength, and running gives that to you. Jump rope gives that to you as well, but running gives that to you also. And there's a reason why boxers run, because it works. There's a reason why the best boxers in the world run. It's because it works. So I find that so funny that we have these influencers out here, a lot of them who claim to be promoting Floyd Mayweather's way of jumping rope, and then at the same time going and saying that running is no good, when the person who influenced their entire business, their entire YouTube platform, ran 5 to 8 miles per day during his prime and probably still runs just to stay in shape. In closing, I would continue to encourage you to think critically and to not create this us against them. Don't fall into this us against them mentality. If you see anybody out there bad-mouthing or marginalizing any form of exercise and then simultaneously putting another form of exercise on the pedestal, taking videos in front of treadmills and things of that nature, I would encourage you to walk the other way and find somebody on YouTube who's more inclusive, or at least find someone on YouTube, if jumping rope is your thing, who focuses on jumping rope and doesn't focus on bad-mouthing other forms of exercise. That's what I would encourage you to do, because truly, if you're trying to get in good physical condition, jump rope is a great way to do it, but there are plenty of other ways aside from jump rope to get into decent shape and to live a more meaningful and happier, active life. You don't have to be exposed to the people who are attempting to create this us against them mentality. You just don't have to listen to it. Remember why people are doing this. Remember the fox and the grapes fable. The fox, he couldn't reach the grapes, so he just convinced himself that the grapes were no good, and he had no way of knowing that. But in order to comfort himself, he belittled the grapes. And I think that's what's happening here. That's what human beings do whenever they feel insecure about something, or whenever they are either unwilling or unable to put in the work to attain something, then they automatically think that it's no good, and they do that to comfort themselves. But the problem becomes when they project that same thinking on a massive audience and then have that massive audience thinking the same thing. It's just not right. And I would encourage you as well to say something about it. I can only do so much. I'm only one person. I hope that you enjoyed this video today. I understand that it was a bit different, but this is something that I think that people need to do a better job of speaking out on. I understand that there are people who are posting these videos who may not think that they are doing anything wrong. I disagree. I think that in the fitness community in particular, inclusivity is the most important thing, because in the fitness community, there are a lot of people who don't have a lot of confidence, who are trying to get back into good shape, who have not been active in the past, and they have little confidence. They don't know what to do. And so they are impressionable. They're impressionable, and they're going to listen to the first influencer they see, because they want to find information to get in good shape. So it's important that the messaging that we put out here about exercise in the fitness community and in the jump rope community is positive, that it's truthful, and that it is inclusive, and that we are helping people achieve their goals through whatever exercise they choose to do that with. All right, everybody, thanks for listening. I hope that this video brought you value. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, jump rope to freedom. Peace, take care, and thanks for your support.